hi there, or should I say aloha. We're about to head to conditioning, but when we get back for treatment, we'll talk some more. The only rules I have for my athletes during treatment are to stay focused on their goals and to trust the process. A lot of times injuries can take longer to heal than what the athlete would normally expect. So I instill in them that they can trust me and they can trust the process that we're going through together. My preferences when it comes to treatment and rehabilitation, for the most part, when I have a lot of athletes like I do in this situation here, I like to make them self-sufficient athletes. And I do this not only because there's one of me and multiple of them, but also because I think it makes them better humans and better adults when they leave college. Additionally, if I can get the opportunity to work one-on-one with an athlete, I think that's very beneficial, and get hands-on manual therapy kind of things, because that helps with the mental side of the healing. And like I'll mention later on in this video, I think the mental part is just as big, if not bigger, than the physical part of the healing process. And then as far as Eastern medicine, I wanted to mention how I've been exposed to both cupping and dry needling here at Troy through our on-site physical therapist, and I look forward to learning more in both those categories as well as any new additional treatments.
Brian, we've already gotten to see your treatment philosophy and your treatment rules. What does communicating with your athletes mean to you?
When it comes to communication with my athletes, I like to have an open sense of communication. I tell them the more that I know about said injury or illness, the better I can help them. I feel like this plays a huge role in mental health as well as the physical health of the athlete, because I like to address that as a holistic approach. So we're not just looking at what's physically wrong, but what's going on inside the athlete's head.
What do you think about nutrition for your athletes?
I think nutrition, especially for athletes, is very important. As one of my mentors once told me, you got to think of your body as a luxury car and you want to feed it that premium gas. So I like to lead by example. Recently, since I've become certified, I've actually lost 35 pounds in just changing the way I eat.
How do you help your athletes manage stress? And in turn, how do you manage stress for yourself?
I think a big part of helping my athletes deal with stress is that open communication, like I talked about earlier. Being there as a support system for them, listening to what they have to say, and sharing similar experiences that I've gone through and how I've made it through those experiences. I think, especially for the younger athletes, their stress comes from the fact that it's new, and if you can show to them that other people have gone through the same thing successfully, they'll understand that they can do it as well. And then as far as dealing with stress on my own, that kind of goes back to the nutritional aspect. I think having good nutrition helps mentally so that you're not so stressed, as well as in my losing of 35 pounds, I was actually training for a half marathon, and I realized running was a great way for me to relieve stress. And while I run, I listen to music. So that's kind of two ways to deal with stress, with the running and the music. And then also I like to have time to myself. So after a long day at work, whether it's go home, listen to music, go for a run, or just take a nap, I think all those kind of come together and help me deal with stress on my own.
How do you think travel changes stress or affects stress differently?
So travel obviously plays a big role in stress increasing for most athletes, as they're away from their normal environment of going to class, being able to do their schoolwork on a scheduled time. Because when you're traveling, your schedule completely changes. Another thing that travel kind of affects, that impacts stress, is the nutrition. So you don't have the same nutritional features that you would have at home, as well as in the case of injured athletes, for those who may or may not travel, I think if it's at all possible, it's very important for them to travel so they don't feel isolated from the team, and they can kind of bond with the team despite the fact that they're not being able to participate in activity.
There's no place I'd rather be, lingering in the ocean blue. I'd surf till the sun sets beyond.